There we go. Welcome to you all, you Colombia, Costa Rica fruit fusion team, you. This is really exciting for us, especially for me, who knows Colombia and Costa Rica really well. And hopefully, well, I know I've picked out the best bits of everything. So it is an exciting program for us to launch and for you to experience. I am Millie. I'm one of the founder and one of the directors here at The Leap. So the purpose of today is to run through your itinerary, okay? And to get all your expectations aligned and to answer any questions. So by the end of this Zoom, you know what to pack, you know what's coming, and you feel excited. Okay, so that is our goal. So as I rattle on, others might say I prattle on, I want you to grab my attention if something doesn't make sense, if you've got a question, and so make it as interactive as you want it to be. Okay, I am here to help, not just talk at you. Okay, so looking at the team, I've got to go off this screen and open up another screen. So there is 14 of you heading off with 1, 2, 3, 10 girls, 4 boys. So that is all good. There's most coming from the UK, 2 from America, 1 from France. Oh, what an international team you are. Anyway, so that's all exciting. So I've just heard from Zoe and Harry that you have all done as you're told and you're all flying in. Apart on the right flight, apart from Emil, you're arriving the day before. Emil, are you here on this? Yes, you are. You're there.
Emily, yeah, I am.
Emily, there you go. What are you doing on the night? How can we help you?
So I'll already be in Santa Marta because I'm doing a bit of a trip beforehand,
Yes.
flying into Santa Marta the night before the rest of you guys, just because of how flights worked from Mexico. And I'm staying at the hostel that the group are staying at the night before, so I should already be there basically.
Okay, so
Hopefully.
we don't need to do anything to help.
Hopefully not.
Okay.
If it is the Republica hostel, is it? I just
Yes.
wanted to check that.
Yes.
There, I'll already be there, so that's fine.
Okay. Great. Okay. So what we will do the week before you go is we'll set you up with a WhatsApp group with our lovely guides, and they should be there the night before anyway. So you'll connect up with them. So that's great.
Okay, perfect.
Great.
Thank you.
Good admin. Okay. So all of you are going to assemble, okay? I've now got to go off this screen onto my other screen. Honestly, I need several computers. So I'm going back onto the itinerary. So you're all going to assemble on Friday the 6th, okay? That is when you are going to arrive, and you're going to have 2 nights in Santa Marta. Now, Santa Marta is one of those old colonial kind of old towns. It's pretty cool. It's got a kind of main square where the hostel is. It's pretty cool. And then you've got this great place, which on the beach with a kind of jetty that goes out with a few kind of bars. So you'll want to kind of wander off there. But the guides, Joanna, to you and I is fabulous, and she knows it really, really well, and they will take you wherever you want to go on that first night. And you're going to push through your jet lag. You're going to stay awake all day, and then at mid 10 o'clock at night you'll collapse. So then the next day, your first day, you're going to be up and out, and you're going to head north to Minca. Now, Minca is in the mountains. It's utterly beautiful, and it's a day of just stretching your legs, everyone getting to know each other. There's the waterfall hike, there's a coffee plantations, and there's tinkering around up in the mountains. So that will be a lovely day. Getting you ready, because the first phase of your trip is going to be straight into Tayrona National Park. Okay. So before and we've done this on kind of purpose because you need to push through the jet lag. I know, Emily, you'll be used to this, but nobody else will be. So the guides are going to take you into Tayrona, which is a beautiful, beautiful national park. When you're standing in the sea, which you will, you'll look back on a clear day, you can look inland right up. So you've got this beautiful sea, beach, jungle, right up to the mountains. So it's really interesting as a kind of environmental place. And the plan is for you to hike through and explore Tayrona National Park. And you're going to have 2 nights of camping in hammocks. You've got to beware. Yeah, you'll get used to this. Camping in hammocks they've got these little campsites right on the beach. So you'll hike through the hot, sweaty jungle, and then both nights you're going to be at the same campsite, which is really cool, right on the beach. So you can swim and chill and thank God you finished, the sweaty hike. And there's horse riding that you can do there, and there's lots of tinkering. So that is the plan for your first 2 nights. Okay. On your third day, you're going to trek into the park, and then you're going to trek out of the park on your third day, and then you're going to be taken to the glorious place called Palomino. And Palomino is where everybody loves staying. It's kind of got cool, kind of hippie chic, surf dudes you could imagine kind of hanging out. And this is where you're going to be based for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 nights. Okay, so you're going to be in a really nice hostel there. You'll meet lots of other travelers, and this is going to be your base. While you're here, this is where we're going to do your community phase. So yes, you're going to be able to hang out with the surfers, but during the day, you're going to be working. And what we have arranged for you, which I'm really excited about because it's a real privilege, is Tayrona National Park is, and you will see when you're there, has a indigenous tribe called the Kogi tribe, which still exists in its ancient form, hidden in the national park. And they are very, very private. They're dressed in white. They still live as they've been living for hundreds of years. So you will see them in the park, but you can't photograph them. They're very, very private, and they just want to get on doing their own thing. Now, on the edge of the park, you've got a few of the Kogi tribe, which they want to keep with their traditions, but they also want to be educated. So you are going to, the first day, you're going to meet these Kogi tribe, hike to their village, learn about their culture, be blessed by them, and have that experience. And then at the end of the day, you're going to do something completely frivolous. And as a contrast, and you're going to tube the whole way back on the river on those big floating tubes all the way back to Palomino. So that's going to be your first day. And then after that, you're going to be working in the local Kogi school, which is something that you are the first group doing this. And Joanna has persuaded this school that we want to support them from now on in, and that we're gorgeous volunteers and we've got all the right, we're going to be hugely respectful. And so they're quite like, are they excited? They're probably a little bit like, who are these people coming in? So you've got to tread lightly, okay? Because you're the start, okay, of something really special. So it's going to be a lot of cultural exchange. You're going to have to you move slowly, but you've got the 2 guides with you who are going to translate and get you interacting. The kids will literally not know what's happening. They won't understand where you've come from, probably from Mars. So you are going to interact with them. They want to learn, the kids, because they've stepped out of their traditional world into a more modern world, and they want to learn a little bit of English and Spanish as opposed to just their local language. They want, the the school, head of the school is just like, this place is very, very basic. Anything that you can do And so what we're thinking, and it's still under development, Joanna's got to go back next week to talk further with the community about how we're going to do this. But, some form of painting, a mural, ABCs on the walls. And by doing that, the kids will then gain the confidence, seeing you around every day, and then the interaction will happen. So, it's exciting for you that it's a real privilege to go into this school, and it's going to be a real eye opener, and it's going to be just as an eye opener for them. So make it what you want. This is a really exciting opportunity, and the two guides are so experienced that they know exactly what we want out of it. So all of you together will have a really in-depth cultural experience and make a difference, work out what the difference is going to be from your trip beyond. And I'm really hoping that you're going to come back with a menu of they need this, that, and the other. Okay, so all future groups, this is what they need. But Joanna was saying, what would be wonderful to take out if you have space in your bag? Yeah, are some little pads, some pens, maybe some transfers, some stickers, something like that, which can get the ball rolling with the interaction. So you don't have to speak, you can just do, scribble, draw, play, and, because they have nothing. So anything that you've got kicking around, arts and crafts, and you've got space in your bag, chuck it in, because it will be really put to good use. Okay? Does that sound exciting? I wish I was with you, because when I was there and I met the Kogi tribe, I literally wasn't allowed to take a photo of them, and it was just like, oh my God, is there nothing we can do? And it's like, no, no, no. So Joanna and Leo, they've worked really hard at getting this all set up. So that's really exciting. Now, after Palomino, you are then going to brace yourself, sit for 5 hours on a bus, but you're going to leave very early in the morning. So hopefully you're going to sleep through it. And that is a journey across the top of Colombia, and that is taking you towards Cartagena. But you're not going to stop in Cartagena. You're going to go straight onto a boat and out to the Rosario Islands. I mean, let me tell you, that is a treat, because the beaches at Tayrona, they're cool, they're really nice, they're beautiful. We're talking white sand, but they're not what you imagine when you think Caribbean. So the Rosario is the Caribbean. It's absolutely spectacular. And I've stayed at this hostel. It's really cool. And you got 2 nights there. And what they specialize in, that yes, it's a hostel and people, are kind of groovy and, have a great time. But while we were there, we did and learnt about the marine conservation, because you'll see the reef right in front, and all around these islands is completely being destroyed. And the community on these islands is slowly but surely trying to do something about this and turn it around. But while you're there, you'll go on a boat and whiz around and see all the old islands, which used to be owned by the narcos. It's fascinating. You've got literally these abandoned houses just stuffed in the middle of, on these islands. And you can see in their prime, they were utterly amazing. Now they're just run down, look like kind of morgues. Anyway, you'll see all that. So it's really exciting. Then you go back into Cartagena, which is described as the Queen of the Caribbean. It's utterly sensational. It's hugely touristy. So you are just going to have to brace yourself and really hope that a Chinese cruise ship hasn't arrived. These things do happen. So hopefully that won't happen. And you've got it, it's much quieter. But Cartagena is a walled fort, and inside it, you've got weaving loads of little streets and alleyways. It's funky, it's cool, it's colorful, there's music. It's just like, wow. Okay, it's really exciting. But you've got to be super careful in Cartagena. Okay, I'm going to come back to kind of health and safety, at the end, but Cartagena is where you don't go walking about by yourself. Okay, it's it's one of those places where it is touristy and there are loads of scams going on and there's just loads of dodgy people and you just got to keep your wits, have your wits about you. Okay. But we'll come back to that. Let's just keep on the happy stuff, the pace of your trip. Okay, then the next day you're going to be taken to the little airport at Cartagena, really easy, and then you're going to fly up to Costa Rica for phase two. So you'll say goodbye to your Colombian guides and you'll say hello to your Costa Rican guides, okay, who will meet you at the airport. And then the first, you're going to go straight to what's the hotel called? Oh, I'm having a mental blank. Oh my God, I am literally having a mental blank. Wait. Um, the Rose of America. Thank you. Just pop back in. The Rose of America for your first night and have supper there. And then the next day, you will get up early and you'll go straight to Monteverde for 3 nights, where Monteverde is the famous cloud forest. And this is where you've got a completely different vibe. You've got here, you're going to zip wire, you're going to hike through the cloud forest, go on the hanging bridges, climb inside a fiscus tree, and it's just like, wow, this is so different. And I'll talk about the differences later. But so you'll do Monteverde. Then after that, you're going to go down towards the Pacific coast. So you've gone from hot, sweaty Colombia to cool Monteverde. Now you're going back down to hot, sweaty Pacific Ocean. But before you get to Santa Teresa, you're going to go straight to Serenas, where you're going to do 2 nights, 3 days of turtle conservation, it's one of my favorite places. It's utterly beautiful and serene, and fingers crossed. I can't guarantee you're going to see a turtle, but fingers crossed. You're on the end of the season, but I was there in May and still saw some turtles. So, fingers crossed. From there, you're going to go to Santa Teresa, which is the center of all our operations in Costa Rica. Everyone loves it. Santa Teresa is like the Ibiza of Costa Rica. It's uber cool. It's full of gorgeous looking, trendy people with surfboards on their heads, yoga mats under their arm. It's that type of vibe. Think smoothies, cocktails, beach bar vibes. That's Santa Teresa. Here, you're going to have a weekend off. Hurrah! What's the first weekend off you're going to have in the first trip, where you really can have a lie-in and do exactly what you want to do. And then the last few days, you're going to have a surf lesson, a yoga lesson. Well, actually, you're going to do that on your first day there to see, if you want to carry on doing it, because Santa Teresa is all about the surfing. And there is a volunteering, our Plastic Oceans project, which we're starting again with all LEAP groups in Santa Teresa, which you can get involved with. So it depends how you feel, because you've been doing so much and you've been on the move, that all of us are just like, oh my God, this new program, do we push them? I think we do. But you can stick your hand up and say, enough. Towards the end, because there's so much to do in Santa Teresa. I want you to go on the Tortuga tour. I want you to go on the waterfall hike. I want you to surf. I want you to yoga. I want you to do all of that. And if there is a Plastic Oceans day that you can squeeze in, then I'd love you to do that too. But you can decide when you're there. So it is a full-on program. It is. Every day is going to be different. And the two countries, let me tell you, are so different. It's going to blow your mind. Colombia is about music. It's about color. It's about the vibe. You will just see it and breathe it, especially when you get to Cartagena. It will blow your socks off. When you get to Costa Rica, it's all about the environment. There's not an interesting building in sight in Costa Rica, not one. If you find one, take a photo of it. There's nothing historical about it. It's all about looking out at the nature. You've got the contrast of the cloud forest to the Pacific beaches to Serenas, these wild beaches, deserted, nothing on it. You just can't believe it. And so the contrast is really exciting. And I think you're going to love it. You are going to love it. The project work, yes, you've got the Indigenous community tribe. That to me is really special. And then you've got the turtle project in Costa Rica. If you want to get involved in the water project, the plastic oceans at the end, you can, but you might think that just those two is enough. But you've got great guides with you who are going to, work through the end, your last few days, depending on how you feel. Um, so any questions with the route? Sound good? Do we get a thumbs up? Get a thumbs up. Great. Thank you. Right. Now we're going to talk about your accommodation, okay? Which is going to be different in every single place, okay? It's going to be a mix of hostels. It's going to be 2 nights in a hammock, okay? Where you're hardly going to get any sleep as you learn to sleep in a hammock, okay? That's part of the challenge. In when you're in the Rosario Islands, you're in a kind of big mixed dorm. I mean, it's very groovy and arty, but a big kind of mixed dorm, kind of girls and boys on one side, with kind of shared bathrooms, but it's all really clean and gorgeous. And, it's really stylish because everything is stylish in these countries. In Santa Teresa, you're going to be at Jaquera, which again is the center of our operations, and that's got a kind of pool. It's got a kind of area where kind of you will hang out. Again, hammocks. You won't be sleeping in the hammocks. You're sleeping in nice bedrooms, but it's 10 minutes up from the beach. It's just a kind of big camp at Jaquera. So your accommodation, tick, 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 it's going to be lovely. Okay, you're not going to fret about that, but you will have to kind of share your bathrooms, so you don't have ensuite bathrooms. So when it comes to packing and you've got your wash bag, and top tip from my recent travels is to get one of those wash bags that you can hang up on a door. It's utterly brilliant, okay? So that, they unravel and you've got different sections. It's perfect. You need one, okay? That just makes life super easy. Other top tip for your packing is packing cubes. They are brilliant. Packing cubes, labels, pants, this, that, and the other. When it comes to your clothes, you're going to need, just think hot and sweaty. Okay? Do not think you're going to need a pair of jeans. You are never going to wear a pair of jeans. You're going to wear shorts, flimsy dresses, flimsy shorts, boys, anything that just is cool. Okay? The only place you might want to maybe take a pair of leggings is in Monteverde. Might, but most people still wear shorts and a t-shirt, but in the evening, maybe a pair of leggings and a long sleeve top. Okay? But I will relook at, when I send your itinerary, I will just relook at the kit list and just highlight anything that I think you particularly need. Okay? Food. Now, the food, breakfast and lunch is included throughout this journey. Suppers are not, but I am going to sort out a few of those suppers when you're in the jungle because I think it will just be easier. So I will let you know with which meals we're going to pre-arrange when you're in Tayrona National Park, as I think that will be easier. So you have to budget for that accordingly. And the reason we do that is it's much more fun to go out and have the free rein rather than us pre-arranging it like we're going to do in the jungle. You might even think, I wish you hadn't done that, but I'm going to. It's because there's just so many cool places to go. Okay, but you've got to budget accordingly. You have got to be strict with yourself. There's 14 of you. You've probably all got different budgets and access to different amounts of money. So please, will you just work within a team and just kind of work out who's got what budget, and then you find the cafe, the restaurant, the local hangout so that everybody can go together. Okay. Costa Rica especially is so expensive. Okay. I'm telling you now, it's eye-wateringly expensive. It's going to hurt, especially when you're in Santa Teresa. You're not going to be budgeting for, cocktails at $20 a cocktail, okay? Because that's what they are. So you're going to be clever. You're going to go to the supermarket. You're going to get some beers. You're going to drink those, on the beach. You're going to have them cook some nights in Chikera in the accommodation. So you're going to have to manage this so that you don't blow your budget within week one. Okay. So when you're in suppers, I would budget $15 a night in Colombia, $20 when you're in Costa Rica. Okay, so that's you've got to go there. All the food when you're at Serenas is also included, so it's just everywhere else. But I'll put that in the itinerary so it's crystal clear. Money. Okay, while we're on this subject, you're going to take your card and you're going to take two cards. You're going to take your Revolut, Starling, whatever that fancy card is, which doesn't charge you every time you get money out from the ATM, but you're also going to take your debit card. The reason being, if you were to lose one card or get it nicked, you've got a backup card because there is no postal service throughout this journey. Okay? So if you lose your wallet, if you lose everything, you're going to have to ask a friend to help you out, and money goes into their account and they get money out for you. We've seen this a million times, but to avoid that, you're going to have two cards. One, which you have on you in your money belt or your crossbody bag, and one which is squirreled away in your rucksack, locked in your room and doesn't go out with you. Okay? You're going to get money out at the local ATMs wherever you are. Okay? Cash is king in Colombia, and it's in denominations of a million. So is Costa Rica, actually, a million to the pound. So it is slightly overwhelming when you get in this. How many million do you need out? You're just like, oh my God. Okay, so but you'll get your head round it. You can pay in restaurants also on your card, but you do need, the cash for buying ice creams and, bits and bobs. Telephones, also take two telephones. You've got your main telephone, which has got everything on it. And if you have a backup phone somewhere in your kitchen drawer, yeah, an old Nokia lying about, sling it into your backpack, okay? Just in case. Because yet again, remember, there is no postal service. So if that phone gets dropped in the ocean or you're buggered. So you need just, matter of, just being kind of extra cautious, shove another one in your bag. Okay? In both countries, you can get a local SIM. They're super easy. Or, like I just did when I was in Kenya, you get an eSIM before you go. Okay, so it's really, really easy to navigate. But on the day one, the guides will take you to get the local SIM sorted if you haven't already. Okay, there's Wi-Fi everywhere. So that's really, really easy. Actually, that's a fib. There's no Wi-Fi in the turtle conservation. There's nothing there. But, there is patchy service, but you'll be fine. Parents listening to this, if there was a problem, okay, throughout your journey, and one of you had to go to hospital, you don't worry, you're going to hear it from us first. The guides will let us know whether it's morning, noon, or night, and then we will let you know. So if this happens, nobody is to panic, word will get out. Okay. The hospitals and the, for kind of illnesses out there are super good in both countries, especially in Costa Rica. Absolutely fabulous hospitals. In Colombia, they're not as good, but they're fine. That, they're good. But, sore throat, if you've got tonsillitis, you've got a sick bug or anything like that, super easy. There's chemists everywhere where you can get anything over the counter. So, that is all in hand. What I ask you is that you, in both countries, people come a whimper when they are drunk and disorderly, and do stupid things like, hire motorbikes, hire quad bikes, go on jet skis. Please don't do any of that. You know, we do our risk assessments to an inch of our life, and none of those providers actually, you know, when we're just not happy with their risk assessment. So we've got a group in Costa Rica now going, oh, can we jet ski? Oh, can we, you know, hire this? Oh, and it's just like, no, okay, that is, you know, always happens. You know, people, you know, behind our back, you know, might hire a motorbike, fall off, and all the kind of scratches and burns and things that people get off a motorbike or, you know, just from falling over in the tropics take ages to heal. So, you know, mosquito bites, don't itch them. If you do itch them and they get septic, tell the guides, show the guides, and then you can get, you know, antibiotic cream there and then to sort them out. Remember, the tropics, everything gets manky quickly. Okay, so you've got to be careful. Any questions? I know I'm prattling on. All good? Still with me? Okay, I'm nearly there. I'm nearly there. Thing I want to talk about really, and most importantly, and this is where I end, is our LEAP values, okay, and teamwork. This is going to be a challenge, okay? This is why you're joining up. It's 14 of you joining this one big team. No one knows each other. That is scary. I know that because I've just been on a midlife team with 12 women that I'd never met before. It is scary. Okay, you got to get to the airport and think, oh my God, what am I doing? Who are these people? Okay, all of you are going to have that thought. Okay, so you've got to be open. You've got to look out for each other. And I promise you, within 48 hours, all that angst will ebb away. But you've got to look out for each other. We do team experiences for a reason, because teamwork is the dream team. And jobs get done, morale gets lifted, there's care, there's kindness, you learn about toleration, you learn how to communicate. It's a really good thing to do. It's amazing on your CV down the line. So that is why the team is so important to us. But what I really don't want to hear, and I've heard it with one particular group recently, drunken disorderly behavior, where you know, the drunkenness, you know, they threw up on people's shoes, you know, in the room, just like, you know, that's idiotic behavior. That's behavior that you kind of did when you're 16. You know, we're not into that. That, you know, I don't want to hear that. You know, you're all on your gap year, you're all adults, and you're going to be treated like adults. This is not a school trip. So if, okay, putting my teacher hat on now, pretending I'm on a school trip. If you were to be that prat, okay, you are going to get a ticking off from our guys, just like, really, that's not good. If you did it again, it's like, right, that's a verbal warning, okay? And you get an email from me, that's a verbal warning. Do you remember this chat where you were, you know, you are now that prat? And then if you do it again, that's a written warning. And now I have to get your parents involved, saying, right, they're on their final warning now because they don't respect, and they're pain in the arse, and they're not following the LEAP values, and teamwork is not happening. And you do it again, we're going to ask you to leave. It's that simple. Goodbye, off you trot. Of course, we'll help you get to the airport, but it's over. It does happen very rarely. I only had to do it once last year. So please don't do it again. Please don't do it to me, because it's really stressful and upsetting for everybody. And it's such a waste of time. So there are going to be good days. There's going to be bad days. You're all going to help each other. There's going to be moments when you get to the project work and you think, oh God, what, da. You're all going to help. You know, you're going to help people interact. You're going to help people sleep, you know, on those hammocks. It's going to be tough. Okay. And it's there. It is, we built it so it is challenging. Because when you get back, I don't want you to think, oh my God, it was a complete breeze. What was that all about? I want to hear the stories like, did you know? Oh my God, that night when we were in the hammocks, those are the best stories. That's what everyone's interested in. So that is what you are stepping into. You're going to be challenged, you're going to meet amazing culture, and you're going to contribute. And that is a fantastic recipe. Okay, so that's it from me. Any questions? No, nothing. Not even one. Surely one. No? Right. Well, in that case, what next? What next is I'm going to send you the itinerary. It won't be today. It will probably be tomorrow or Friday because I just want to speak to Joanna again, who's your trusty guide in Colombia, just to check a couple of things. I will send you that with a recording of this Zoom. So parents can listen in. So everybody knows what to expect and everyone is all expectations aligned. Okay. Other than that, have a wonderful time. The WhatsApp will be set up the week before you go. And happy days. Happy days, team. Happy days. Over and out from me.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Goodbye, goodbye.